then talking about the love of devotees is just simply talking. And also when you think that the platform of humility, Chinadapi Sunichina, is the entrance to Bhakti. We talk about Omadidi's humility. But when we think of that verse, it actually has 4 components. You know, more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. That's usually what we think of when we think of that verse. Able to give all respect to others. We sometimes think of this. But the hard one, receiving no respect for yourself. And still being able to honor others. And I saw this in Umadidi, and also I know of a situation she was in that I didn't witness, but I was involved in something at the time where someone had asked her to do a favor for them. And that favor lasted for some weeks. I'm not going to speak any details. That favor lasted for 3 weeks. And Umadidi did that. And that person, in the course of the pressure and tension and so, they became angry with her, agitated with her, so much so that someone was contacting me about it. They were disturbed by it. But Umadidi, this person was disturbed, but Umadidi did not become disturbed. She remained equipoised throughout, even though she was senior most, even though she was doing a favor. When she showed disrespect, she remained affectionate even to that person, so much so that she bound their hearts to this very day when they realized, you know, she captured them when they realized they had, you know, been acting out of, you know, a bit disrespectfully out of the pressures of the situation. And so I think this is a huge thing. And without coming to that platform of humility, really being able to tolerate disrespect nicely, then we can't begin to enter the realm of Bhakti. This is stated by our Guru Father. It's the entrance. So we can see Umadidi was very comfortable on this platform of giving respect to others. Sometimes we also, and because of this platform, we also saw other things in her. Like it's stated in Madhuri Kadambini that, I'm not saying what level Umadidi is on, but it's someone who's, one of the anatas is Bhaktuta anatas, anatas arising from Bhakti. And of them, the desire for pratishtha and is strong, and to delight in the waves of all the prestige that comes from one's practice in Bhakti. And you saw Umadidi repel anything that came her way in that regard. She did not ever entertain that she had something, that she was in any way superior to anyone. And even though wherever she left, I remember being in Australia with her once, and she stayed in the house I stay in with Rajkishore and Parma in Portugal. And after she left, we really felt a difference. There was a difference. And then I thought, well, she's really potent. Even though, like Madhukar Prabhu was saying in his, what he wrote the other day, she was elderly, her English wasn't so good, you know, sometimes she'd speak in a monotone, sometimes she was very rough in her dealings even, a bit harsh, like it's stated in Upadeshamrit, that that even the faults, apparent faults that's seen in the Vaishnav, they're not to be taken seriously. So I was thinking about this after the glorifications the other day. There's sometimes harshness that we saw in Umadidi. When I thought of this shloka, it put everything in perspective. And also, there's her sometimes blunt dealings were very much due to her lack of duplicity. She never made a show of being something she wasn't. what you saw, you got. She responded in a way that sometimes put her in a bad light. But you never had to think what was going on really inside her heart. It was all open. And this quality of being, not quality, fault, of being duplicitous, stems from the desire for pratishtha. It's stated, where did it state that? I think it's in Vaishnav and Shiksha. That this, or Manashiksha, in the verse of Vaishnav, that we come to when we desire Krishna, we want to impress others. So Oma Didi just didn't have this. So what you may see from a superficial perspective, you may see, oh, this is not a good quality. She's sometimes harsh in her dealings. She's sometimes too blatant. But actually, that's just superficial, with superficial vision. Actually, the cause of that was a total lack of duplicity. And it made me realize how much we need to see each other all now and overlook the apparent faults we see in each other, because what drives a person in their bhakti is far superior to any fault. And now I'm seeing these things I'm having this thought after Oma Didi's departure. I'm seeing her more clearly after her departure, that this lack of duplicity was actually the cause of what I saw a fault, and I was missing. I totally didn't see the deeper exalted quality. Savita also just mentioned, her Guru Nishtha, her Bhajan Nishtha, and her Dham Nishtha. And someone, Subhadra from Sweden, was telling me last night how she did one parikrama with Oma Didi. She came on Braj Bandal Parikrama, and they went out in cars. She was in a car with Amita and Sulata and Lalita. And then, and they would go, I've done that also, you just go back in the car behind Oma Didi. And she observed just in that one parikrama how much nishtha Oma Didi has in the Dham. And I noticed that when you're in that situation with her, you can arrive at any place and she will be able to talk about that place in accordance with how Gurudev spoke about that place, at length, unprepared, unannounced, in detail, for a while. And I also saw that on any appearance or disappearance day, without any preparation, she could speak exactly as Gurudev spoke, making exactly the same point on any Vaishnav, on any tithis, on any verse. She was like an encyclopedia of what Gurudev presented to us. And so all these things, gave her such a power, and you combine all that with the care that she showed people, the care that she showed for people's spiritual life, for the affection she always exhibited whenever she traveled anywhere, or when she was living here. For us, it's very difficult to accept that she's not here. It's like, because of who she was, it's not like in those leisure times I was visiting Oma Didi so much. And this gave me another thought. Actually, I feel really close to Oma Didi. And even though I wasn't externally around her so much, and I was fascinated by this, and then I remembered an article by disciples of Srila Gurudev, who said that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he never performed any personal service for Srila Jagannath Das Bhagavaji Maharaj. He never carried him on his bed, he never cooked for him, he never cleaned for him. But he was the one who's carrying the conceptions of Srila Jagannath Das Bhagavaji Maharaj. He understood the service mood of Srila Jagannath Das And for that reason, he is in line with Srila Jagannath Maharaj in our Guru Parampara. And I was thinking, I think the degree to which we understand a person's real heart, like, their conceptions of their heart. And when we understand the Vaishnava's real heart, that's the thing that makes us close. So I was understanding my feeling of closeness with Oma Didi didn't depend on how much external service I did for her. And it's like that for all of us, all around the world. If we really want to feel close to her or to any Vaishnava, we understand their conceptions. This is really their heart. This is what they've come to give. This is what they've come to share, especially Vaishnav, the caliber of Srila Gurudev and our Guru Varga. They've come to share their conceptions and their service to us and to give that to us. And certainly with Oma Didi also, a closeness to her is there in understanding what was the dearmost thing to her heart. And what was that? That's the thing she exhibited again and again. As, like Dham Nishtha, Guru Nishtha, Nam Nishtha, in every way she shows a fierce determination and loyalty, unswerving in these things, despite the sometimes, harsh dealings or, and this is what we need to always appreciate in each other. If we were to do that, we would have a much sweeter society, and a much nicer sanga. Because it seems that when someone leaves this world, that's when when our false egos aren't being confronted by any apparent anarthas we may see in them, then we can appreciate what they were actually made of. We saw it with Krishna Kamini Didi. As soon as she left, we all saw her for what a wonderful devotee she was. So I think it's incumbent on all of us to really take this to heart. And I know it would please Oma Didi the most. She wanted to see harmony in our sanga and among all Vaishnavas. So I think that, or a little more. Okay. One example of her Dham Nishtha. Last year, and not last year, the year before and the year before, I did not go to Navdeep Parkirma because of lockdown the first time and then fear of lockdown the second time. It was all very unsure. And I didn't want to get caught out over there because my Savior things up. So I went after that. Actually, when the coast was clear and everything was peaceful last year at the end of April, I went and I did full Navdeep Parkirma. And when I came back, Oma Didi said again and again to me, "I'm so happy you did not go to Navdeep. I'm so glad you did that." I mean, really, do I feel that if anyone else goes over to Navdeep and does Parkirma? Do I feel that happiness? But following the line of Srila Gurudev, because I know once I was in an airport with Gurudev, and it was just before Guru Purnima, it was the 6th of March or something. He said, "Where are you going now?" And I said, "Vrindavan." And he became really visibly upset. And he said, "What? You're not going to Navdeep?" And I said, "First I'm going to Vrindavan, then I'm catching a train over to Navdeep." And he was happy. So going to Navdeep Parkirma meant so much to him. And I saw in Oma Didi's response to my going to Parkirma last year, how much she has that same mood as Gurudev, how much it's important for us all to do Sri Navdeep Parkirma and Sri Vrindavan Parkirma, and how loyal she was to the Parkirma party, and how she follows the Parkirma party. Always honoring the system that Srila Gurudev had established. How with publications, she was always so encouraging of every book we worked on. They had a distribution of it. She always became enthusiastic. Like someone, I think Manjulali was saying the other day, or someone was, how she'd fill her bag with books when she travels to the West and distribute them. And I know when I took some books to Australia last year, of the letters book that was inspired by Oma Didi, she really wanted those letters published. And And Shivas Prabhu understood that and worked with her closely to produce that book with the help of Vaidhi Prabhu. And seeing it, seeing it, we gave it to her the day that she had her heart attack. I think it was the same day we gave it to her. Right. And how much that meant to her, these letters that she received from her Gurudev were shared with the world, and seeing the devotees honor these letters, like what percentage of those letters are? A quarter of those letters in that book are to Devi. And it meant so much to her to share the jewels she'd received from her Gurudev. And when you read those letters, there are so many deep, deep jewels for a serious practitioner. So I think that was the essence of Didi. She was a really serious practitioner. And as Charu said the other day, she was like our foundation here. If people understood, I don't even need to understand, this is a leader. A real leader is not someone who just manages or sets in, knows a lot, or can give lots of classes. Someone who can really lead is a perfect example in their own life of cent to cent following the order of their Guru Varga, and dedicated with every cell of their being to understanding the conceptions of their Guru Varga and practicing them. And this was Didi. And even though she didn't hold a position in our sanga, she was respected by all. Whenever there was any difficulty, any calamity, everyone went to her from all sides. All parties would approach her for advice. And so her concern, a leader is concerned for others, not just follow me, but how are you doing? How is your chanting? This is leadership, and this is Didi, and this is what we're going to miss. We need more leadership like this. And so I think I just want to say one more thing. Once we were in a room with her on Parkirma, and Brenda was saying the other day how, sometimes she'd see Didi up at night chanting, and I also have seen this, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing Didi sitting on the bed chanting. And while we were staying in that room once, I think we were at Govardhan, and we were in a room, Vrindavan Vilasini was there, I was there, Vaidhi, I think, was there. And Didi said, I'm only, because Vrindavan was taking people in the car at that time. And this is an example of her non-duplicitous nature. She said, I'm only nice to Vrindavan Vilasini because she takes me in her car on Parikramā. And Vrindavan said, oh, Didi, that's not true. Why do you say that? And Didi said, I'm a conditioned soul. I can say things. Like there's no degree of duplicity. That, there's no degree, I can be, and to be that, and when I heard Didi say that, like, you can't trust me because I'm a conditioned soul, I thought, I trust her. And I think that's the feeling a lot of people have. They trusted her because she so clearly wasn't out for any degree of popularity, or she didn't try and show any charisma to influence people or attract people. She didn't try and, initiate even people like, I heard last night that many people, I've heard today also, many people from different parts of the world asked her for initiation, and she just said, I'm not qualified. You guru, you would know better than anybody. But her qualities showed, that she was certainly competent to give guidance. And we see in the chapter on Ruchi in Madhuri Kadambini that someone at the stage of Ruchi, they're always eager for Hari Katha. They're always eager. And I'm not saying I know what Didi level Om Didi was on, because someone on a lower level can't understand someone on a higher level. So I'm not saying anything on that level, but I'm just making that observation that someone at the age of Ruchi, at the stage of Ruchi, they enter any assembly and they're eager for that Harikatha. And Om Didi was like that, like we've heard, attending anybody's Harikatha, anyone in the line of Param Gurudev, she was eager to hear that from them. And meticulously attending to all angas of bhakti. So much, right down to her kitchen cleanliness, to her standard of cleanliness, bathing in any situation, to the number of rounds she chanted. And carefully preserving the angas of Vaidhi bhakti while not leaving a sense of what's really going on in her heart. Just like Gurudev would say, if you go into a factory where there's incense is stored, and it may even be stored in metal containers, a fragrance of that incense will come throughout the whole building. You walk into that building and you'll be able to smell incense, even though it's all locked tight in containers. So this is Om Didi. You got a fragrance of something, like when we were reading the Gopi Geet together last year, and she'd know all the word for word meanings according to what Vishnu Srila Jiva Goswami said, according to what Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said, according to what Gurudev, his own commentary on that. Om Didi was aware of it all. And when we had our, in lockdown, we were in lockdown in Gujarat for 2 months, and Kirtapad Prabhu held an Nishtha Goshti on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu every morning. It was absolutely wonderful. And Om Didi would attend, and we were just astounded at how she understood all of these concepts and could elaborate on them at length. And I remember Gopi Janavala Prabhu saying she's on a whole other level, not just in her intellectual conception, but in her practices. So I think I should stop there. There's unlimited things to say about Om Didi. I pray that she's an inspiration for us all. I pray that we can hold tightly to what was dear to her, which was unalloyed faith in the line of her Gurudev, Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj, our Gurudev, and Srila Bhakti Vedanta Trivikram Maharaj, and Srila Bhakti Vedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj, our beloved Param Gurudev. And like her, pray for her guidance and shelter to always be loyal, because she's a perfect fruit of such loyalty to our Guru Varga. So thank you.
Thank you, Didi. Didi has spoken very well about many divine qualities of Uma Didi, but I would like to especially mention 2 things which she said. Normally, it is not easy to understand a Vaishnav or a Vaishnavi while they are with us, because our eyes are material and our character is also not perfect. So it's very difficult for ordinary people to understand the divine qualities and the divine sacrifice and the seva they are doing. But after they depart, we start to understand a little bit, but we should endeavor that we should try to understand while they are with us so that we can do some seva to them. And second thing she said, very important thing, that she always wanted to see harmony in our sanga. I totally agree with her. And it was her deep desire. She was disturbed by the disharmony, seemingly disharmony, which we see. So we should all try to respect each other as much as we can. We are not going to take anything from this world. Only the seva we do, the respect we offer is what is going to be with us and how people are going to remember us. So it is a very important shiksha she has given by her own life, that we should try to create harmony and not worry about trivial matters which are happening, we see happening around us. Should try to stay away and try to not do these things people who are doing. They should stop it and try to be harmonious and try to serve and respect others. So nice, Didi. Thank you so much, Vaijantimala Didi. It was really nice. Now we have our Vanna Didi, our dear Srila Buddhiraja Prabhu's dear daughter. And she would like to speak. She has to go somewhere, so I'm giving her out of turn chance, because then she has to leave. and she has some work. So I'm going to unmute. You can unmute yourself, Didi. Yes.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी वेरी मच. आप हर समय मेरी हेल्प करते हैं, तो थैंक यू वेरी मच. एंड वंदना से अच्छा गुरुदेव ने नाम